Jiang Haoyi is an average first-year university student. He doesn't have any huge ambitions or a love for fame and attention, he just wants to keep his peaceful and boring lifestyle. However, he would never guess that his life would suffer dramatic changes after eating some cake. No, it's not diabetes, it's worse, it's the most amazing harem disease, where Cupid basically pulls out a prank and makes him have to fulfill his lover's deepest desires. Jiang Haoyi enters his university, walks to his classroom, and sits down, looking forward to another boring day. The teacher starts the lecture when suddenly a beautiful girl walks in. Xia Zedong is the most popular girl at the university, and everyone pays attention to her. She proceeds towards Jiang Haoyi and tells him that she's 3 months pregnant with his child. Jiang Haoyi freezes in shock while others start taking pictures and posting them online. Jiang Haoyi tries to convince others that he doesn't even know the girl, but everyone starts cursing him and makes him run away to save himself. The school makes an announcement to catch Jiang Haoyi, and all students rush to find him. Meanwhile, the president of the school's athletes club, Tang Xuan, catches him. She bullies boys if they dare to tease any female on campus. She also declares Jiang Haoyi is her lover and asks for an explanation about Xia Zedong. Jiang rushes away from her and runs into Linyuan, who calls herself Jiang Haoyi's wife and mother of his 2 children. By this point, Jiang Haoyi has lost his senses and speeds towards the terrace. He tells everyone that he doesn't even know any of those girls, and he will jump off the building to prove himself innocent. No one believes him, and Jiang Haoyi falls, but suddenly a light shines from the sky and stops the time. He reaches the ground safely and meets the love goddess, Metadata. She tells him that the cake Jiang Haoyi ate the day before was Cupid's chocolate, which caused the girls to assume a love story with him. If Jiang Haoyi wants to break the magic, then he has to fulfill the most awaited desire of each of those girls. Jiang Haoyi starts with Xia Zedong, who is crying for him on the terrace, and invites her for a meeting the next day. Jiang Haoyi takes Xia Zedong to the hospital to prove to her that she's not pregnant. After which, Jiang Haoyi accompanies Xia Zedong to her house, though he gets beaten up by the guards. He realizes that Xia Zedong's most desired wish is to spend more time with her father, who rarely comes home. He snatches the phone from the housekeeper and challenges Xia Zedong's father by saying he's the daddy and for him to come and catch him. Just after a few minutes, Mr. Xia comes over with several cars and helicopters following him. Mr. Xia brings more guards who beat up Jiang Haoyi even more. Xia Zedong stops her dad and tells him that it's just a misunderstanding while showing the hospital report. Mr. Xia wonders why this made a fuss. Jiang Haoyi gets angry at him and says that Mr. Xia wouldn't have bothered to come to see her daughter if there wasn't a big issue. Zedong doesn't need a huge house or thousands of servants, her happiness lies within just having a simple meal with her dad. Jiang Haoyi runs after saying this, but his words touch Mr. Xia's heart, and he arranges a dinner with her daughter. Maitada informs Haoyi that he succeeded in his first task, and the magic from Zedong is lifted now. However, the new memories will still be there, so Zedong remembers the time she spent with Haoyi the past 2 days and invites him for a date. Suddenly, another girl named Liang Zuli interrupts them and kisses Haoyi. She's Haoyi's childhood friend who just came back from America, and her mom has chased after her to stop her from dating Haoyi. After confirming a date with Zedong, Haoyi runs into Tang Xuan, who slaps his face and announces a breakup. Jiang Haoyi gets angry and shouts that nobody will ever like Tang Xuan because of her attitude. However, Maitada tells her that breaking up will not end the magic following Tang Xuan. Haoyi proceeds to stop her, and in this attempt, he squirts water on her, but she goes away quietly. Tang Xuan is someone who doesn't want to accept her defeat. Meanwhile, Zuli is still persistent in stopping Haoyi from dating anyone and looks him up in his room on the day of his meeting with Zidam. However, Haoyi manages to escape from the window and reaches Zidam. They sit down in a restaurant, but there's awkwardness between them. It's the first date for both of them, and it's quite different from all that Haoyi ever imagined to be friendly. Haoyi invites Zedong to join the anime festival happening nearby, but surprisingly, they find Tang Xuan in there, cosplaying as a maid. Tang Xuan says she saw many girls get bullied in school for their looks, so she became a masculine powerful girl to get revenge. Hei admires her efforts but believes that Xuan shouldn't hide her true self from others and encourages her to pursue her dream. Xuan says she needs 2 more girls to compete, so she and Zidong dress up Hei as a girl and name him Mizuli. Zuli has come to look for Hei but lets him go when she sees he's just fooling around in girly cosplay. Everything is going smoothly, but Tang Shun's opponents have destroyed her most precious dress that Xuan designed herself. It's the dress she wore on her first win. Tang Xuan gives up and runs away. However, Hei is still determined to help her win. He tries to buy time by acting cute on stage while Zedong is running here and there to find Xuan. Hei starts singing a song, which gets a little praise, but the audience still wants to see Xuan and creates chaos. Hei asks them to listen and tells them that he came with a friend who hides her true self. Hei thinks she looks best and is most confident when she cosplays. Xuan is listening to all this while standing above the stage and gets deeply touched. Suddenly, the railing breaks, and Xuan falls into Hei's arms, and their costumes change too by the magic of Maitada. The audience assumes that this is all a part of the show, so they start cheering and declare Xuan the winner of the competition. Later, the costume disappears, and he is thrown out of the dressing room naked. He thanks Maitada for her help and goes to drop Zedong at the railway station, after which he rushes back to talk to Tang Xuan to make sure that the magic is lifted from her or not. However, he's unaware that Xuan has developed real feelings for him instead. Later that night, Hei goes to visit his high school teacher, Ms. Jiren. She's a single carefree lady living in an apartment next to Hei. When she mentions Zuli, it reminds Hei of the whole time he spent with Zuli. They were really good childhood friends, but Zuli started getting jealous when Hei scored better than her. At last, Hei had to purposely take fewer marks in every test to make Zuli satisfied. Then one day, she challenged Hei to take better marks than her, and if he couldn't, then he had to go to America with her. This time, Hei gave in to his best and won the challenge. Zuli thought Hei didn't want to go to America with her because he hated her, so she left without him and never looked back. Hei spends the night at Jiren's place, and the next morning, he goes to meet Chowen and challenges her to win against him. The loser will fulfill any wish made by the winner. There are 2 simple rules: if any of Tang Xuan's team members get a better grade than Hei on the upcoming midterm, Hei will lose the challenge and will have to do what Xuan says. Tang Xuan accepts the challenge, and the battle begins. Hei studies day and night to get the top score. The night before the exam, Hei wants to sleep early, but he finds Zuli outside crying. He goes to console her and drops her at home. As a result, he doesn't seem fresh the next morning. Though everyone thinks Hei will lose, he wins and asks Shun to wear a maid dress for 2 weeks as punishment. In fact, Hei has done all this effort so Tang Xuan can experience how it is to live like her real self. Moreover, she has made her fans all over the school with her cuteness already. Tang Xuan goes to Zuo Jiang for bringing the wrong size dress for her, but she doesn't get angry at him like always and leaves smiling instead. She is happy too for the chance he gave her. The next day, Lin Yuan encounters Hei with 2 kids who call Hei daddy. Maitada tells Hei that the kids, Xiaoming and Cao Heng, are real, who were created as a result of the wish from Cupid. For the time being, Hei teaches the kids to call him uncle and tells Lin Yuan to take them home. He will visit them later. Hei has not figured out what to do with this information. Suddenly, Lin Yuan tells him the kids are missing after she left them at the school game. Now, Lin Yuan and Hei have to search for the kids around the school. Zedong finds Cao Heng, who is taking good care of her, considering her Hei his niece. While Xiaoming is causing trouble all around the school. Hei finally spots Xiaoming, but he is hiding inside the girls' changing room. Xuan finds Hei peeking out of the door and beats him up, calling him a pervert. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan is still waiting for his supposed husband to bring back the children. Hei tries to convince Linen that her reality isn't real, so the magic can break, but Yuan doesn't seem to be cooperating. At last, Hei has no choice other than going home with Lin Yuan. He meets Yan's mother, who is also under the effect of magic. She considers him an irresponsible son-in-law. Hei eats dinner with them, cleans up, and puts the kids to sleep. In short, he just lived a day as a married man. Suddenly, he gets a call from Zidane, who asks him to go to the amusement park with her the upcoming Sunday, and he agrees. When he hangs up, Lin Yuan also asks him to take his supposed family to the amusement park the same day. At first, Hai tries to refuse Zidane, but then he can't gather enough courage to break her heart, so he decides to handle both girls. At first, he takes Linen and the children to different rides in the park, even though he's afraid of heights. Then he rushes to meet Zedong as soon as the clock strikes 10. Hai and Zedong sit down on a bench and are awkward again. Zedong had made up her mind that she would confess her feelings to Hai today, but now she can't even gather the courage to say a word. Suddenly a street photographer requests for a photo that finally brings Hai closer to Zedong, and she gives him a kiss. Hai can't believe what just happened. He has never thought that the school's beauty and the richest girl in town would ever fall for an average guy like him. Hai rushes to the store to buy gifts for Xiaoming and Cao Heng and runs into his high school friend. His friend tells Hai that Zuli's abusive ex-boyfriend, Du, is coming after her, and Hai should protect her. Suddenly, Hai's phone starts ringing. It's Zidane. Hai can't figure out which side he should go to. Luckily, he finds Tang Xuan in there and asks her to accompany Zidane, and he runs back to Lin Yuan. The kids want ice cream, but Lin Yuan stops Hai from spending as he doesn't have an income. Hai still wants to make the kids happy and takes part in a quiz competition to win ice cream coupons. Due to his extensive knowledge, he wins easily, and they all go to the ice cream parlor. However, Xuan and Zidong catch Hai with Lin Yuan outside the ice cream parlor. Xuan ties him up to ask for an explanation. Hai ran into Lin Yuan and decided to console her because she is the child of a struggling single mother. After hearing this, Chowen lets Hai go with Lin Yuan. This is the reason Lin Yuan has wished for an ideal family with Hai. It's something she didn't get as a child as his father left them and never returned. Hai proceeds to spend the rest of the day with Lin Yuan and kids. They also take a family photo together, and then Hai drops them home. Lin Yuan didn't tell Hai much about her father, and Hai can't dare to ask her mother, so he decides to investigate on his own. He visits the elementary school Lin Yuan studied at. Her homeroom teacher tells him that Lin Yuan's father was affectionate when she was little, but he disappeared after the divorce. Lin Yuan used to wait for him every day at the school gate. This triggers Hai even more, and he's determined to find her father at any cost. Hai takes help from his police friend, Brother Yan, to find contact information about Lin Yuan's father. On coming back home, Zuli welcomes him and doesn't let him sleep, making him stay in the bathroom for the next few hours. However, Yan calls Hai in the middle of the night. He found some numbers that might be Lin Yuan's father's. Hai couldn't sleep much the previous night, and now he has to call on those 20 possible numbers provided by Brother Yan. At first, Mr. Lin doesn't pick up, but on constant tries, he finally responds. Hai tells him he's the son-in-law and yells at him for being a bad father who left years ago and never looked back. But Mr. Lin's reply leaves Hai in deep shock. Lin Yuan is not his biological daughter. After this, Hai only has one option left, which is to ask Yuan's mother. She gets mad easily and doesn't tell Hai anything, but an old lady from the neighborhood saw and tells Hai everything. Lin Yuan's father was an army sergeant who died before her parents' marriage. Mr. Lin took responsibility for Lin Yuan and her mother, but his parents didn't approve. After being in poverty for some years, Mr. Lin left Yuan's mother and never returned. Hai feels like the situation is not in his control anymore. He feels angry at everyone that messes up Lin Yuan's life. He even argues with Maitada, but later, he realizes his mistakes and gets determined again to solve this issue. Mr. Lin hasn't turned off that old phone number even after so many years. It's maybe because he still loves his family and wants to get back together again. This little hope has made Hai hold on. Meanwhile, he's trying his best to keep Lin Yuan happy. After school, he rushes to pick Lin Yuan and the kids up. They are crossing the road when a high-speed bus is rushing uncontrollably towards Lin Yuan. Watch this next video.